Hey guys, it's Eric. It's another awesome Red Friday. That's why I'm sporting the red swag. Don't forget, we've got a video on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to by hitting the red subscribe button down there on your right. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, go check out YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We give away free swag. We have a whole video on our YouTube channel. Just search free swag, it'll come up. But more importantly than this awesome red shirt that you can get for yourself, I want to talk to you today about 5 reasons why you want a realtor or a real estate agent with VA loan experience. Now you might say realtors don't do loans, okay? Well, when I say VA loan experience, you want somebody that has experience working primarily with veterans and has done a lot of business with veterans using their VA loans for buying a home, okay? That's what we're going to talk about today before I forget this awesome whiteboard. VA experience, okay? You want VA experience, hope I spelled that right, guys, with your realtor. A lot of people buying houses right now. It's a great time to buy houses. Property values are up. There's a shortage in housing, so good luck if you're out there trying to get a home. This is going to help you out. We've talked before about using real estate agents to find your dream home. Like I've told you in the past, we have suggested many times that you work with a real estate agent because as the buyer of a home, you're not paying that fee. That's the seller's responsibility. So get out there and work with a real estate agent. So we're going to talk today about 5 reasons, okay? 5. I'm going to list them up here. 5 reasons why you want to work with an experienced VA realtor. So here's reason 1, guys. They understand veterans' needs. It's awesome. We actually have some real estate agents we work with that served in the military themselves. So I'm just going to put number 1, empathy, right? Love that word. They understand. They know what you need. They understand your needs. So an agent who has worked with veterans before, who understands your unique needs, is going to make the whole process better for you. This could include things such as finding a home that avoids specific PTSD triggers. Okay, this is real stuff. Helping disabled veterans apply for adaptive housing grants, or finding a home that's already disability friendly, right? It's already been renovated. Something else that you might think of is the unique situation that many service members face when they're not able to view the property before buying it. You know, because maybe you're currently stationed overseas or somewhere else where you can't get there. So those are many reasons why you want to work with a realtor who has experience working with service members. You know, if you're working with veterans a lot, especially those that are deployed or aren't able to, physically tour the house, a lot of these real estate agents will have digital tours already set up. They'll do video chat and they'll literally walk you through the home with Zoom or whatever else technology you might use. And this is something great for service members. And finally, service members often need to be able to sell their current home quickly if they're receiving, new PCS orders, which means they also need to buy quickly once they move. So these VA experienced realtors often have a specially tuned eye for homes that have a real strong resale value or homes that you can get into quickly if you're the buyer. So that way, when it's time to sell, you're going to be much more likely to be able to sell quickly before you're required to move to your new duty station. Let's go into the second reason why you should work with an experienced VA realtor. They're going to understand the VA loan process, okay? I'm going to call this experience or understanding. And it's really the loan that we're talking about here, right? Some realtors, if they're not experienced with working with VA loans, are going to say, oh no, don't go buy a home with a VA loan. Thank you for your military service, but stay away from the VA loan. That's just because they're ignorant and they haven't had experience, okay? We've talked, and as you guys know, VA loans make for incredible mortgages. Yes, they've got some unique quirks, but that's about as much as I'm going to say about it. They're quirks. They're not difficult at all. These quirks don't make the loan difficult, okay? They can potentially delay the process only if your real estate agent does not have experience. Trust me, none of these quirks have ever slowed down a loan because it was a VA loan. It's the inexperience of either the loan officer or, in this case, the real estate agent that's going to make things more difficult, okay? Now, if they do have VA loan experience, a realtor can help you sail right through the process very seamlessly. Some of the quirks that a VA experienced realtor will be familiar with are going to include things like helping you find VA approved townhouses or condos. I can't tell you how many times we've had somebody that's been interested in looking for condos. They're not working with an experienced VA real estate agent, and then all of a sudden they've made an offer on a condo that's not even VA approved. And then what do they get upset about? The VA loan process, when it had nothing to do with the loan. It had to do with the fact that the real estate agent shouldn't have been showing you that condo to begin with if they would have understood that condos must be approved by the VA in order for a VA loan to be used on them. Making sure that your home meets the VA's standards for residential use. We've talked about these minimum property requirements before, these VA standards. Your real estate agent's not going to go show you a home that doesn't meet the VA loan standards and waste your time. Also, your real estate agent's probably going to be they're going to be familiar with the VA appraisal process. They're going to know what fees you're allowed to be charged and what you're not. So during the negotiation, which is something your real estate agent does, they're going to be able to help you negotiate the fees around what the veteran is allowed to pay and what they're not. So these last two are actually very important that I want to cover them as reasons, number 3 and 4, as to why you should work with a VA real estate agent. So really pay attention. Number 3, like I said, your real estate agent will be familiar with the VA appraisal standards, okay? I'm going to put appraisal standards here. Sorry for my awkward bend, guys. Appraisals, okay? It has unique standards for the home being purchased with a VA loan. We've talked about these MPRs or minimum property requirements before. A realtor with VA loan experience is going to be familiar with this, okay? And their familiarity is going to allow them to evaluate the homes up front and recognize already if they're likely to pass the VA appraisal or not. Okay, this is all about efficiency. This way you're not going to fall in love with a home or go under contract with a home only later to have the rug pulled out from under you and then everybody's upset. In addition, a properly experienced realtor is also going to know where in the process the VA appraisal is taking place, how long it takes in that area because it can vary from Texas to California, and better set expectations. Isn't life better in general? Put mortgages aside for a second. When we have correct expectations, everything's better. Don't screw yourself up on a home buying process by being given wrong expectations early on in the game. So your VA experienced realtors are also going to include the necessary contingencies in your purchase contract so that you're still protected even if the home doesn't pass the VA appraisal, even though everyone thought it should or it was going to up front. And if the home doesn't pass, but the issues are fixable, as we've mentioned before, we can get around these things, and an experienced realtor is going to know how to negotiate that with the seller so that all of the repairs needed can be covered by them and not you. Here's the 4th reason that you need to work with an experienced VA realtor. They know what fees are allowed and not allowed, okay? So we're going to put fees. Very important that they understand this because there are certain fees that you're not allowed to pay, and if you don't know this up front, once again, it could cause some heartache. When your realtor's negotiating the contract to buy the home that you want, they need to be aware of these fees because they're going to go and negotiate with the seller and say, hey, look, I know you want X for the house. We feel like that's maybe a pretty fair price, but you're going to have to cover these fees for my buyer because he's using a VA loan. And now the negotiation process starts, okay? The VA allows the seller to pay up to 4% of all of your closing costs. So that gives your real estate agent, if they know what they're doing, a lot of room to maneuver and negotiate. Now, we're in a very competitive market right now. This is a seller's market. There's not enough homes for sale, and there's way more buyers than we have homes. So negotiating for your seller to be able to cover some of these costs is going to take a very experienced and wise real estate agent who's got a track record. Keep that in mind. You want a good one at this point in time. One such fee that you aren't allowed to pay, just for an example, is your realtor's commission. You can't pay that. They're going to need to negotiate up front to have that paid by the seller. Okay? Reason number 5, 5th and final reason for today that you should work with an experienced VA realtor is they're going to be able to fix the seller's misconception. Look, when you're buying a house, there's two teams here. Okay? There's the buyer and the seller. And if your realtor is experienced misconceptions. right? They're going to be able to help alleviate any misconceptions that the seller has going into this. There's a lot of myths. There's a lot of, just incorrect information floating around out in the universe about using a VA loan to buy a home. And some sellers might be scared about that. But a VA loan agent that's experienced is going to be able to dispel those myths and overcome those misconceptions up front so that the process can be seamless and smooth for both parties. Just one example, realtors who know VA loans are going to be able to explain that the appraisals don't delay the process any more than a conventional appraisal. On average, as we've discussed in other videos, VA loans close in just about the same number of days as conventional loans and other loan types. In fact, VA loans often have higher closing rates than other loan types, meaning veterans once approved, you guys know better than I do, you're loyal and you're hardworking and you don't back out of contracts nearly as much as other non-veteran home buyers. And these are just a few examples or misconceptions that your realtor is going to be able to dispel and overcome up front. Now here's a bonus point, guys. Here's a bonus point for you today. How can you find a realtor with VA experience, right? After learning all this stuff, the question is now, how can I go find one? Let's talk about that. There's a couple different things you can do. Number one, you can just ask your VA lender, which is hopefully low VA rates, if they know of any realtors in your area that they've worked with before and that you've had a good experience with. So there's nothing better than like a personal review or testimonial from somebody. If you've got neighbors or somebody else out there, military buddies who recently bought homes, if they had a good experience, ask them who they worked with. Once you've got some options, go interview them. Okay? You have the right as the buyer to make sure you're in the driver's seat and you're choosing the best partner for you. That's really how you need to look at these real estate agents. They're partners. Ask them, how familiar are you with VA loans? Okay? Are you an MRP certified realtor? That's a certification that they get by the National Association of Realtors. When's the last time one of your buyers or someone you've worked with used a VA loan to buy their house? Maybe give them a trick question. Tell me what you know about VA appraisals or minimum property requirements. See how they respond. Okay, these are just a few questions you could ask. You can ask them how they've been at negotiating lower closing costs from the seller, or not lower closing costs, but negotiating the seller to cover some of the closing costs for veterans. Just a few ideas of how you can pull back the covers and make sure they're not hiding anything under there and that they really are experienced. Now, when it comes to buying your home with a VA loan, there's lots of reasons why. The smart choice is to work with a realtor that has experience. We've talked about all these things today, not just experience, but VA experience. Thanks for watching. I hope next time that we can also provide you with all sorts of information that makes the home buying or the home, refinance process even better.